In a peaceful village in Karnataka, there lived a wise and loving grandmother. She was known not only for her delicious cooking, but also for her kindness and generosity. Granny lived in a small tiled roof house with her playful little granddaughter, Tia. Every day, the two of them shared stories, laughter, and warm rotis from the kitchen. Yum! Tia, watching Granny cook.
Granny, you made 5 rotis for the 2 of us? Again? Why only as 1 extra?
Granny wiped her hands and said,
That 1 extra is special, child. It's for someone who may be hungry, maybe a stranger, maybe a neighbor, or maybe even God. Who knows in what form he comes?
Granny always believed in giving, but more importantly, she believed in giving the best. So each day, she kept aside not the burnt one, not the broken one, but the softest and warmest roti, brushed with a drop of ghee, but